friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another tutorial. Today we're going to be working with some tags again. I just feel like tags are just a really functional piece of ephemera, and there are so many possibilities for how you can make them better writing spaces, make them hold more stuff. You can add pockets and flips and all kinds of things off of tags, so they're very, very versatile. So today we're going to be doing a triple flip tag with a belly band in the middle. So that's going to make more sense here in a second. So this is the one we're going to decorate, or we're going to fully make on camera, including decorating. So this is for the Winter Wonder Journal number 2, using the Snow Fairy Tale kit by Kleblot Creations. And then I've got my dimensions, which we'll talk about in a second. We're also going to put this one together just so that you can see the basic construction, but we won't be decorating, so that we'll do this one before we do that one. So just, I like to do a dry run. This will be the dry run, and then that'll be the legit one. So let me show you the prototypes. So I made 2. This was my first one, and as you might notice, my flap didn't come all the way over to this edge, so I did rectify that. So it flips out like this. This one flips out like this one flips the other way, and then it's got a pocket here. So I made a mistake though, and I didn't I just messed up this whole piece, or maybe it's this one. It's this one that I messed up. Excuse me. So this will be my sample in terms of my, what do I call this? Not a sample. It's a prototype, but this is the one that's going to go in my reference journal. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So this one measured, the tag was 4 inches wide by 7.5 inches tall. The top pocket measured 2 1/4 inches by 4.5. That is, I believe, accounting for the hinge. Yes, that's including the hinge. So a 1/2 inch hinge on whichever side you end up putting it. I neglected to put another tag on the back, which is why this is going in my reference journal, and I didn't realize it till I already put my eyelet in. So you can see how they attach the hinge here. This middle one I didn't cut big enough, so it's got a smaller hinge. The hinge size did not matter. You can do whatever you like. I just chose the 1/2 inch because it's an easy measurement. The middle pocket, and then we've got it secured with a paper clip. Rusty paper clip. And so then this pocket here, well, this one measures the same, 2 1/4 by 4.5. And then this one is 3 inches tall by 4.5 inches wide, including the thing. Oh my, what do you call that? The fold. And then I've got a belly band in here. I'm going to do that a little differently on the one we're going to do together. Just stuck a card in there, but that's what that base looks like. And then it's got a few things in the pocket. So yeah, so really cute. And then I wanted this in the inside because I want that to all be nice and secure and covered up. So I'm going to stick that in there. I want to keep this with it. I have not yet thought through how I'm going to continue with my reference journal in terms of keeping track of instructions and inspiration, where I saw it and things like that. I think I originally saw this on Scrapbooking with Me, but that was a couple years ago. I've made this before. So that is my one that's going to go in the reference journal. So this one I have already, and my supplies, I've got my vintage photo archival ink, my eyelets, my eyelet setter, a corner rounder, and a circle punch. So I'm just going to get those out of my way a little bit, the ones I don't need right at hand. So let's get this one over here. I did not even cut my tag shapes yet, but I did for this kit, and I apologize, before I turned the camera on, I did not write down this kit. I believe it's called something Paris, but I will link it, and I'll make sure that I put in the link area, the supply list, I'll put the green piece. So this is called the green piece, or mint maybe, and then you'll know that kit that I list is the one that's this paper. So I do apologize for that. It's after work, so I'm a little bit yeah, not at my best. So these were pockets that came in the kit. So it's a pocket, you know, it has the hinge here, a hinge here, and then a hinge on the bottom for that kind of gusseted effect. So I just thought I'll go ahead and use these as my flips on the tag. Now, so I've got 3 pieces, and then this is the backing, this is the pocket that's going to go on one of them. So I did alter the size of this tag because I decided to use these pockets for the flips. So this tag measures 3.5 by 7.5. The pockets are, the first pocket is 2 3/4 by 3.5, so 2 3/4 by 3.5 with a 1/2 inch score line or score hinge. The middle one is 2 3/4 by 3.5, and then the bottom one is, oh, they're all the same. This one I made them all the same, I guess, because these are all, these little pockets for the kit are all the same. Goodness gracious. Okay. We fixed that, didn't we? So I'm just going to grab my little tab template here. I'm going to set those aside, and I'm going to go ahead and just put these together. I just need to reach for my scissors. I just got home from work, and it was a long day for some reason. Daylight savings time change is getting me finally, so I'm a little bit tired. So I wanted to lay down and take a nap. Decided, no, I need to do this. So I'll make it an early evening though, and I'll take some rest time tonight. So we're gonna go ahead and cut these at the same time. So I'm thinking that one's a little bit big. I think I'll use number 2. It's the popular one. It's no special measurement or anything. It's just something that I cut. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut that. And again, I'm cutting through both layers, the front and the back of the tag. Sometimes you'll have an overhang. Things don't always end up perfectly even. Don't worry about that. You can always trim it off. You do have to watch it though before you start gluing your flips on, because once you glue the flip on, you're not going to be able to trim the side that is already hinged on. So hope that's making sense. There we go. And I do want to apologize. I got a comment, and I knew this in the video, guys, when I did the tabs, the grungy stamp tabs. I knew while I was filming, like I remember, I think I even said something about it, but I didn't do anything about it, and I'm so sorry. My camera was way too far away for the little tiny bits that I was working on. I promise we'll be doing something similar again, so I will be more mindful of that. So my apologies. So there's our tag shape. So we've got, this is the front, and then this is the back. And the back will be glued on after we get all the hinged flips on, but before we put our eyelet, on. So I'm going to set that tag back over there, and then let's go ahead and take a peek at these. So I'm going to go ahead and score these just because I want to get a good tight score line. So I've just got my little, and I don't care about that. It's not going to show. It's all going to be covered over when we get everything on. So I'm just going to, oh, that is not a straight edge. Okay, well, perfection is not at play, right? Isn't that what we say here at B.Reborn Art? You know what, I'm going to do this by hand because I don't have a straight edge. So I'm just going to fold this up, and I'm just going to go to that where I can see that print right there and just call it good. Just going to crease that out. And again, we don't need to worry about that. I'm not even going to trim those off. So that is one, and it's going to come in from this side. So this is, I can't remember which is which. I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll figure it out as we go, which we want to be top and middle, because they are all the same. So that's kind of cool. So let's go ahead and fold each of these. Of course, you could take the time to actually properly score if that's important to you. I'm hit or miss on that. This one's a little bit narrower. I can't remember why this one was narrower. I don't believe I cut it off but I could have and just psyched myself out here. So I'm just, again, trying to get it close to that, where I can see the print there. And again, perfection is not important. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment and ink all of these things up so that we can proceed seamlessly through the rest of the project. Okay, last piece. So I neglected to mention that I did make sure that I printed on the back of all of these pieces, because they are going to be actual writing spaces on the back of the flips. So that's why that was important. So everything is inked up and ready to go. So let me get rid of the crumbs. No, I didn't even get my white glue. Nothing's ready. My Fabri-Tac in case I want that. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is think about which one we want to be first. And then the pocket one is going to be the middle section, so we'll just attach this here in a second once we decide. I actually think I want this one to be the middle, so because I think breaking up those other images would be really pretty. So let's have this one be the middle. So before we glue the hinge on, we're going to go ahead and adhere this to the back of it, but I want to put a thumb notch in the front of this pocket. So I'm going to fold that over so I get a true center of the actual face of this piece. So I'm just going to estimate here my side to side. There we go. And I need to move my mouse. I almost just hit it. It'll turn my camera off. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue this on. So I'm going to use my white glue, and yeah. So we're going to glue on 3 sides. Actually, let me just put it on this part. Be easier. There we go. Just get this in place. Oh, I should have used the Fabri-Tac. Hopefully this is going to be, we can always trim it off if it's a little bit too wide or it's not measuring up quite exactly. I'm just going to press that and just wiggle that a little bit. It looks like we've got some excess on the end. That's okay. So our pocket is here at the top. So I'm just going to trim off that excess. Got me some new scissors. All of my scissors were so sticky. I went ahead and got some from Amazon. They came in a 3-pack. They're pretty decent. So, all right. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to glue this on. So I'm not going to be too worried about the exactness of it. Because we can go all the way up to where our, oh, and see, we're going to be not quite to the edge, and that's probably because of the way I scored it. But I am not going to worry about it. So I'm just going to kind of place that there and place this one down here. Both of these ones will flip out to the left, so that one will go there, and then the other one will go in the middle. So I'm just going to set this on here, and hopefully I can pinch it with my finger, because I'm just kind of looking here to here and seeing that I have about the same amount, and it looks to be pretty good. And then I'm just going to pull those out. Okay, and I think I'll actually get my pencil and make a pencil mark on this top piece so that I can see where that's going to go right there. Okay, so then you're going to put, I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac just because I have more wiggle room, so I'm just going to use that here on the flap or the hinge, whatever you want to call it, and it's going to go like that. I'm going to kind of turn this just for my own ability to see it. I'm just going to place that there and make sure that it's hitting that pencil mark, and I'm just going to really push that in so that I can get that as close to that edge as possible. So that looks pretty good, which means I did a better job scoring that one than the other one. So perfect. And then what do we think? I don't think it really matters which is which, so I think I'll put this one up here. So straight and easy up front, we're just gonna, in fact, I'm just gonna use the white glue because I don't need to worry about lining up or moving as much as I did on the middle one. Okay, and we're just gonna pop this over here. I'm just gonna flip that out. And again, I just want it to meet up with that edge of the top of the tag, that point. And I'm gonna try to butt it really close. Well, actually, maybe a little bit further out here. See if I can fudge that and get it to go over further. I don't think I can. Oh, it looks all right. Is it high? I think it's a little high. Let me see if I can move it. I should have used the Fabri-Tac. Should have used the Fabri-Tac. Let's take it off. Do as I say, not as I do. Let's try that again. I don't like to use Fabri-Tac on smaller areas because I just don't get as precise of a boy, I'm all backwards here. There we go. So this is going over here. So I'm just going to put it on there where we were, and I'm just going to pick it up so I can fudge that, make sure it's below that cut line here. And it's okay if it's a little bit lower. Of course, as any time, you can always be more precise than you see me doing, but I just don't operate in a perfectionistic way. So you can see that this one's not quite meeting up, but that is all right. And then this one, same thing, exact same thing. And then we'll move on to the actual one that we're going to do fully, even some of the cutting. Some of the cutting's done and some of it's not, so I'll talk to you about that in a second. So again, I'm just lining it up with the bottom of the tag right there. Okay, I'm going to pinch that. Perfecto. Alrighty. So, and again, I want this one to go here because I want these to close it. So, oh, that's so pretty. I love it. This will probably go in the Sweet Yvonne journal, I'm thinking. So the only other thing I want to do before we move on to the other one is glue the back on so that we can, so it's ready for the eyelet. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a bunch of Fabri-Tac on the back of this tag. Okay. Hopefully my tags are going to line up okay. They should. They were exactly cut at the same time. So I'm just going to kind of finagle that a little bit. Get it lined up as best I can. That looks good. Looks really good. So off camera, I'll put the eyelet on here. I'll also grab some things to stick in the pockets, but this isn't the one we're focusing on. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. So this is for the Winter Wonder Journal number 2. Again, Snow Fairy Tale from Kleebot Creations. And we've already got some things cut because I didn't want to fuss too much on camera, but some things I left to do together. So like this one we're going to cut down to make a journal card. We're going to fold this envelope, and then this is a larger journal card we'll cut down for the pocket. And then I also have a piece of vellum over here that will cut down. So did I not cut the back? I did not cut the back. I thought that might be the case. So let me grab an extra piece here. Pardon my body. Come on. There we go, right here. I knew there was a reason why I had an extra one. So we will go ahead and we should probably cut this now so that it's going to be good and ready. So I'm just going to cut it by hand. This is risky, but you know, like I say, I live on the wild side. So we'll talk about the measurements here in a second again. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut our tab shapes because that's going to help us. Now these ones are going to overlap more because I actually made them taller, so they're going to be more stacked. So you're going to have one here and then here and then here. So that'll make more sense when I get to show you here in a moment. So let's cut our tag shape. Oh, I should have put, I'm just going to roll that under my mat. There we go. And let's just use 2 again. Why not? Seems to be the preferred one. And again, you could make these any size you want. Yeah, I'm thinking about, so I'm going to be doing, I have a collaboration that I'm going to be working on with Rachel Bella Crafts, and I'm doing a miniature project, and so I thought it would be fun to come back and do some of the miniature work, the little things that are going to go, like some little miniature ephemera that will go into that journal and that project. So there we go. So I'm going to take a moment again and ink all of these things, and again our measurements are 3.5 by 7, and we have 2 pieces, so you always want one for the back, and it would be wise to have one that has the ability to write on the back, because this is probably going to be a floating piece because of the way that we're going to need a paper clip to hold the flip outs in place. So let me ink these up and I'll be right back. Okay, we are ready to move on. Oh, I need to change my sponge. Okay, so I had these marked and then I moved them. So bottom, oh, which was this is the pocket. Ugh. I guess I didn't mark both of them. I know that this is the bottom, this is the top, so this is the middle. Okay, so again, we're gonna kind of go with that theory in figuring out the placement on each of these. So I did not score these, so let me bring the scoreboard over and we'll do that properly together. I did make a mark and a line so that we could just zip it on here and go to town. I'm a little bit off my line. Hopefully that's not going to cause a problem. Let's see. It's not going to go. My scoring is off. I have a hard time with this, to be honest. So let's see if we can do that again. Darn it, that's a bummer. I don't know if we can fix this. Once that something's scored, it's tricky. So I think we're just gonna be happy with it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and ink this edge too, and then ink this edge here. You know, I don't worry about that stuff, guys. I just don't. Okay, so that's gonna go in the middle, and then let's score this one as well. I'm not sure what's going on with my scoreboard here. So see how it's off? Or maybe my measurement for my line is off. That could be. So I'm just going to hold this firm so I can see if I can get it. Oh, perfect. Right on the line. Right on the line. Woo! So this is the bottom. Don't let me forget. So this one's a little bit wider because of the piece of paper that I chose. So I was truly trying to keep this ornate stuff here. So I'm just making sure that this is actually 3.5. Wait a minute. Is that right? Oh, it's a little bit bigger. But I did do the scoring at the same point, so I'm not sure. I think it was the paper that I chose that ended up making that be a little bit off. But again, the hinge size does not matter. You can totally do that however you choose. It's just you want to be able to attach them. So there we go. We got all of our score lines, so let me just ink these up again. These are probably going to be short, but I'm not gonna cry about it. I mean, once you guys try it, you could get, you know, more choosy about your measurements and stuff, but You know, a lot of this work and prep and stuff and, you know, prototypes I do during my work weeks, so I do the best that I can. Okay, so, oh, I didn't ink the tag. Goodness gracious. As I've said before, I just love the vintage photo on the blue. It's just really complimentary with that blue, so gorgeous. Okay. So we're going to put this here, and then, oh, we probably need to put our pocket on. That would be wise. I'm just using a scrap because I just don't want to waste it. So I decided that this would go to the inside, so this is a writing space. So I'm going to go ahead and just, and it's too big too. What the what? That's okay. Let's cut a really fine thumb notch in this one because I don't want to affect her head. So I'm just going to estimate there. Perfect. Perfecto. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and glue this on. So again, I'm gluing the two sides and the bottom just right here along that score line. Not the shake, not the firm. Oh my goodness. My hands are not very straight. Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Okay, and we're just going to place that on here. I don't like to use my Fabri-Tac here because I get too thick of a glue line and then I lose a lot of the landscape of a pocket because it just oozes everywhere. So that looks pretty good. So, alrighty. If you follow my measurements, you'll be fine. Clearly my cutting was off. If you guys want to take a snapshot of that, you can. But of course, your flips can be any size you want them to be. They could be, you could have 5 of them on there and have them be really skinny. You could have them all flapping off the same side. It's totally up to you. There's no rules here. So there is our pocket one. So this is going to go here. So again, we're just going to kind of, I'm I-spying from here, the distance between here and here and here and here. So I think we need to bump it up just a smidge. That looks better. So see how we're not coming to that edge, but you know, I'm going to embrace imperfection, just turning it over, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my Fabri-Tac on. I highly recommend Fabri-Tac. It's very forgiving. Give that a good push. I'm just trying to get it as close to that edge as I can. Okay, beautiful. Oh, this is so gorgeous. If I do say so myself. Okay, and then this one was the bottom. Not that it matters really, but so this one's going to go here. And everything is all inked up. Oh, I didn't get this edge. I like this edge because it's going to actually show when it flips out. So we're going to go ahead and put this on here. And again, we're doing, now if you wanted to have them all be the same, you could go this way, but then you wouldn't have any mechanism. Well, I guess you'd have a mechanism with your paper clips still here, but I'm going to put them on opposing sides. So I'm going to just flip that open, put this in place, and then fold that over. Okay. And I'm just going to go as far to the bottom as I accurately can. Okay, like so. If something gets off, we can trim it. Turn that over. I feel pretty good here, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the white glue because I don't have to really move it. I think I said that before though, didn't I? Yikes. Yikes. There we go. Okay, so that's that. And that's that. So pretty. I just don't like how that looks, but you know, it's kind of cool because it gives you that layered effect. You can actually see your layers, so that's the way I'm going to choose to think about it. So we're going to put this one on here, and that's way off. Look at how much that one's off. Yikesies. That's terrible, Cara-Renee. Can you fix that, Cara-Renee? Can you? It doesn't need much of a fudge there. Let's see if that makes any difference at all. It might not be much of a difference. A little bit. We're just going to go with it. So I just need to re-ink that because I did move that fold line a little bit. So there's a lot of freedom in, you know, letting go of the perfection of, you know, of every single line being exactly straight and, you know, oh, I want to toss this in the trash because it's not perfect. I just don't do that anymore. I don't live my life that way anymore. I used to, and I just don't do it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and put my white glue on here. Oh, I just moved it. Goodness gracious, that's okay. We can line it up. We can fix it. Sometimes at the end of my day working with special ed kids, I feel like my brain is like mush. There we go. Because we're constantly on high alert, although we did have some students out sick today, but then there's daylight savings time, which just, I love it. Look at that. So flips out, flips out, flips out, and then we've got some stuff for these pockets. So, and then another piece is going to be, oh, wait a minute. I don't need 3 pieces. I don't need this one. We don't need 3. I don't think we need 3. So let's go ahead and figure out the measurements for this one. I do like this girl a lot. So I'm going to bring over my cutter a little bit closer in here. Oh, because we need to do the belly band. Almost forgot the belly band. I want a belly band to go down the center of this. The piece of vellum was sitting here on my cutter. That's how I remembered it. So I'm going to cut this down to, I don't want it to be very wide, maybe an inch and a half, inch and a quarter. I'll do it an inch and a quarter, so I'm just going to trim this down to 1 inch and a quarter. Sticky note there. 1 inch and a quarter right there. Vellum is so tricky to cut because I can't really see it. As long as it's straight, it's not a big deal. Okay, pop that down without moving it. All right. Yeah, that's a good width. Okay, so I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to get my height. Actually, I know what I wanted to do. I'm so glad I remembered this. I actually want to fold this over because I didn't like the glue lines on my prototype. So I'm going to pop that up a little bit above and then a little bit below so that we can not have the glue lines show on the front of the tag on the inside there. Okay. Let's set that aside and we're going to ink this up. Vellum is so great for belly bands because you don't lose any visibility to all your beautiful papers. I love using vellum. So there we go. So we're gonna I'm gonna just lay that down, and then I want it to be in the middle. So I'm gonna hold this up. I'm just gonna pinch that. Easy peasy. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same here. Well, I should probably make a mark on this one because I have to pick it up. So I'm going to make a line there and then fold that. You could score this as well, but I don't feel like vellum needs to be scored. You can actually break the paper by doing that too. So I'm just going to do it by hand here. Trying to get on that pencil line. It's a little bitty bit here. There we go. Sorry, that's off camera. Man alive. Don't fire me. Don't fire me. Okay, so let's ink that up. And ink that up. And then problem solved. We don't have to deal with the glue showing. So we're going to go ahead and put some glue on the, so we folded it over this way. So now we're going to open it up and put glue on the back side of that vellum piece. A little flappy flap. And we're going to go ahead and line her back up here. I'm just going to hold it away up here and then bring it down as it looks to be in the right place. It does. Give that a pinch. Perfect. And then same thing here. I'm just going to put some glue on that inside. I'm so glad I just took the time and got this filmed. Oh, that was at the, yeah, that's the right side. Cara-Renee. Okay, I liked my belly bands to be fairly firm and tight because they're going to be holding things. So there we go. Oh, that's what we wanted that other piece for, because something needs to slide in there. Oh, that was tight. That was tight. It'll probably be okay though, as we get the backing on the tag. So that's why we had this other piece. So this will be perfect in there. So we're going to go ahead and trim this down. I'm going to trim off a lot of this part on the side. I'm just going to reach over here to my cutter. You guys are not going to be able to see all of this, but I'm just going to cut off some of that book edge there. And go ahead and cut off the bottom bit here. You could be measuring, of course, but, and I want it to stay below this line, this point, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark it here. So I'm just going to line that up, and I'm just going to make a mark at that, just below the tip of where the tag edge starts. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Boom. That's beautiful. And so we don't also want it to go, that was terrible English. We don't want it to go too far over. So, I mean, we want a little bit of room. So I'm going to go about right there. Give that a trim. I think we'll round the corners on this. Perfecto. Got my corner rounder. So many crumbs though. Let's slide that in there. Isn't that beautiful? The blue is so gorgeous. So gorgeous. And then I've got some circles. I thought I cut these and I thought they'd be pretty to put in various places. So do we want this girl here or do we want this girl? Oh, I think this girl. I've used her before. I love her. I think I used her in Crash or Trash episode 19 when we did some work with some mailers. So yeah, we're going to put that right there. We're going to keep this really simple. I don't want to bulk it up. So I'm not going to put lace or anything here. So I'm going to put some glue, but I'm just going to put it kind of in the center. Kind of a margin like that. Okay. And let's put that down about middle-ish. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Awesome. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay, now I'm no longer confused. Well, I'm always confused, but not as confused. So, got those circles out of my way. So this needs to be cut down to go inside of this pocket. So I'm going to try to make some marks just so I don't have to guess. And I want it to kind of stick up out of the top. But not too far. So we're going to cut the bottom off here. I already know I want to do that, so let's just do that without measuring. I'm just going to cut it off just below her feet. And then we can, I think I'm going to trim off, I kind of like that gold at the top. It's different. So I'm going to cut off this edge, but down to where that material or whatever that is for dress is ending. Okay, and now we've got to cut some off this side. So now I'm going to do a mark. So I'm just going to move that over so we have plenty of room in there. And I'm just going to make a mark over here about right there and cut that off. Not putting, you know, toppers or anything on, anything going in these tags because you don't want to bulk it up too much. Just going to erase that pencil mark. And oh, that's so beautiful. I think I'm going to, no, I'm not going to round the corners because I like that ornate shape. So we're just going to ink her up. I should have probably checked to see if it's going to fit. And I almost always back my digitals with another, you know, coffee dyed paper of some sort because I really like not having to think about that. So most of the time I do that. So let's see if this is going to fit now that I've done that. I think it might be too big. Come on. Why aren't you opening? Why aren't you opening? There we go. Yeah, a little bit too wide. So we're going to have to take a little bit off this edge. That's okay. I like to create like this. I feel like I can make changes as I need to. But before we ink that up again, we're going to try it. So when you glue that pocket on, sometimes you lose some of the landscape of your pocket. So I'm going to grab my ruler here, my metal ruler, and I like to get in there. Sometimes if I wait this long, it's too late, but you can kind of open up some of that, what I call landscape there, and make some more room for your piece. But yeah, just like that. So perfect, perfect, perfect. Oh, I love it. I love it. I feel like it's a little bit too high, but we're not going to cut her down anymore because I don't want to lose anything else that is there. So that's going to go. I'm not going to keep it in there though because I don't want, in case that glue is still wet. So that goes in there. I'm just going to stick it behind here just for the sake of finishing up here. So the only other things we have to do is do a little bit of something on here. So I thought it would be fun to maybe put this to tie these two colors together, maybe with a little bit of lace. So I'm getting to the end of my favorite coffee dyed lace. I always cry when this happens. I've been on the hunt. So if you guys know a good shop that I can get where you get vintage kind of lace. So this is, you can see how this weave is, and it's old, so it like pulls, and it's just perfect for what I do. So if you guys know of a place, drop it in the comments. I would love it. I've been searching Etsy, and what I don't like about what I see on Etsy is most of it's just these little pieces. I don't want a little piece. If I find a piece I love and I coffee dye it, I want to have enough to use it for a while. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to fall in love with it and have just a little bit and then it's gone, you know. So got a little piece of foam there. Okay, so I'm just going to put some glue right here. Rubber tack. I'm going to put that lace down there. I'm going to stretch it out a little bit. Yeah, perfect. I'm going to grab a paper towel here. So beautiful. Okay, we're going to put that on top. I feel like that's a little bit too straight. Can we pull that up a little bit so it doesn't look like it's a straight line? So it doesn't look like the straight line that it actually is. We've got one more circle we might use. And I'm going to try to find a word, some kind of a winter word or a quote or something on here. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I love how it's tying those pieces together. So do we want to use her? I feel like she would take away from that up there, so I don't really want to do that. But there's really not another place for her, is there? So we might have to hold on to her for another time. So I'm going to reach behind me and see if I can find a word. I neglected to pull out my little drawer of the winter words. Some of them, I don't want anything too wide. Wisdom comes with winter. Winter lives in my bones. Don't really care for that. White Christmas. I want it to be about winter. Hazy shade of winter. Oh, that's a really pretty one. Oh, I like that one, and I like the tone of this paper. Let's see, closed for the season, Snow Child. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like Snow Child. Let's see if there's anything else that speaks to me. Winter magic is in the air. Shake your snowflakes. That's cute. A December to remember. Unique like a snowflake. Frosty the Snowman, Beat the Sleet, Back to December, Cascade of Snowflakes. Yeah, I'm feeling one of these I've already pulled. So let's kind of look at what we've got here. Winter magic is in the air, which is shorter. I like the hazy shade of winter because I feel like that's what's happening here. But I'm going to cut off the word A at the beginning and just use hazy shade. And I'm debating, I think I want to round these corners, so I'm going to do that. Actually, let's use the 4mm. I have less success with it for some reason. Yeah, that worked out. So guys, we are just about done. So I will decorate that green one that I showed you, or that we did together, and it'll be in the photos at the end of the video. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'm just going to glue this on and we're done. So take care, my friends. Bye-bye.